Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Today is August the 10th, 2025, and there is a ton of action in the WNBA for today. Let's see if we can find some winners, man. Hit the like button for me as you join. Definitely helps out the algorithm, helps out the show. Appreciate you all for tapping in. We're going to jump right into it for today. Yesterday was a 1-1 day for me yesterday. Ended up losing a little because I ended up playing the Sparks live. Not the right idea yesterday. Sparks ended up getting smoked yesterday, man. Golden State looked great. I was completely wrong. I talked about liking the Sparks -1. The line had moved. I took them live. That didn't work. But we did cash on the Chicago Indy under 166.5, which got a little sweaty just because Chicago never played any defense. And on the season, still getting absolutely obliterated. So we still got a lot of work to do. Luckily, the season isn't over, and hopefully you guys made some money yesterday. Let's go through the comments real quick, and then we'll jump into the games for today. I feel like this is a little too... Oh, all right, never mind. All right, there we go. Let's go through comments real quick. See who is with us real quick. Prolific says, went 0-1 in the W last night with the Sparks. Stink at high heavens against the defensive team. Yeah, they looked pretty bad last night. They did. From the beginning, too. Let's see. Prolific says hit the like button as well. It's free. Appreciate that. Quan says, morning, Chris. I'm thinking the Liberty are in a must-win spot today, considering their hectic schedule over their next 5 games. In comparison to the Lynx next 3 games, starting with today's game, we'll talk about that because I am in agreement a little bit. He says, also, you spoke on it yesterday, but can we get the number for a team that has lost 4 straight and is now road favorite? Yeah, I looked into that. It actually wasn't that profitable. And now road favorite. No, I didn't look into this one, but I can pull that up. I'll start at. What up, Tony? He says, let's get this money. Appreciate you for tapping in. Gina says she went 1-1 yesterday as well. Lost on Hamby over her 15.5 points. She got close though. I think Hamby played pretty good last night, but they, as a team, they look pretty terrible. Morning, Prestigious Pride. Appreciate you for tapping in. Sparks pathetic 9 points and a quarter. Says, can't believe I played the Sparks too. I mean, that's the thing, right? The public side doesn't always win. I feel like the way that, I don't even know if it's public. I feel like the way the lines have been shifted in the WNBA is like you could take all that with a grain of salt. I'm always a little comprehensive. I'm always a little scared when I want to play and the line has moved in my favor because it means nothing in the WNBA, honestly. But yeah, the Sparks opened as 1-point favorites. They got up to what? I think 5-point favorites, and the Valkyrie said, nope. It don't matter. We win in this game. What up, Doms? Appreciate you for tapping in as always. Good morning, Jamel. Dre says top of the morning, good people. What up, Dre? Appreciate you for that. What up, Helms? Yeah, that under was crazy, but I'm glad people cashed it if you tailed along with me. All right, let's get into it. Ball says he cashed Indy Golden State money line at +209. Nice look there. I actually got a little money line parlay I want to run too today, but let's jump into it. So yesterday, jaXon. We start with jaXon, AI sports betting tool. Link in the description if you guys want to check it out. jaXon, like Kelsey Plum, over her 5.5 assists. She finished with 4, so it was a loser. Janelle Salon, over her 16.5 points plus rebounds, was a winner. She finished, I think, with 11 and 8 yesterday. So 1-1 day for jaXon. Today, I asked jaXon, same thing, right? What are the 2 best player props for today? And jaXon spits out a plus money, plus 102 on Bet Rivers. Alyssa Thomas, over her 9.5 boards. It says she's been an absolute force. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so Alyssa Thomas over on her 9.5 boards. jaXon says she's been an absolute force on the boards, making a strong case for the over on her rebounds prop. She said the over on this line in 100% of her last 5 games, averaging an impressive 11.6 rebounds. And 80% of her last 10 games, averaging 10.4 rebounds. Her season average stands at 8.68. More importantly, in her 2 matchups against the Atlanta Dream this season, she's cleared this line in 100% of the games, averaging 10.5 boards. News narratives strongly support this pick, highlighting her incredible form with the 3 consistent triple doubles. She has consistently grabbed 10 or more rebounds in all 8 of the Mercury's games since the All-Star break, including 2 straight performances against the Atlanta Dream. Atlanta's tendency to shoot the second most 3-point shots, 27.9 per game, also create more rebound opportunities for Thomas. The potential absence of Brittany Griner for the Dream, who had 8 rebounds in the first matchup, could further enhance Thomas's rebounding chances. Despite the Atlanta Dreams ranking number 1 in the league against her position for rebounds, Thomas' recent dominance and specific success against this opponent makes this a strong play, especially at plus money. So plus 109 for Alyssa Thomas over her 9.5 boards. As far as the next one, we will go with Sabrina Ionescu under her 9.5 rebounds and assists. So this says Sabrina Ionescu faces a formidable challenge today against the Minnesota Lynx, whose defense is ranked number 1 in the league against her position for combined assists plus rebounds. This is a critical factor that strongly supports an underplay. In their only matchup during the 2025-2026 season, Ionescu went under this line, recording exactly 9 assists plus rebounds. While her recent overall performance has seen her hit the over 60% of her last 5 games, 70% of her last 10, the Lynx present a unique defensive obstacle. The Lynx have shown remarkable defensive prowess, especially without their star Naphisha Collier, winning all 4 games in her absence and demonstrating their depth. This game, which I think they lost to the Washington Mystics in the first game, but that's neither here nor there. This game is expected to be a tough defensive battle, and the Lynx' top-rated defense against Ionescu's position make it highly probable that she will be limited in her playmaking and rebounding opportunities. So actually, I don't know. This is kind of scary to me to play Sabrina under, but do think the assist could potentially not be there. For one, this Minnesota Lynx defense is pretty good, but also Emma Messerman, she's out there dishing and doming as well. So that could take away a few of Sabrina Ionescu assist opportunities. I can see this. I guess I could see it going under. But yeah, those are the 2 looks for jaXon today. Sabrina Ionescu under her rebounds and assists, 9.5 at plus money. And the first one I gave you guys was Alyssa Thomas over her 9.5 board. So those are 2 looks from jaXon. Let's jump into the matchups for today. So this first one is Lynx and Liberty. Just double check, make sure the line hasn't moved. Yeah. All right, so Lynx, Liberty, line hasn't moved. -4. Total has moved, though. I put these lines in about a couple hours ago, about 3 hours ago. And 167.5 is where it is now. I think as it was mentioned, I think Laquan mentioned it in the chat earlier. I do think that this is a Liberty spot. So we start with the injury report. Minnesota, of course, will be without Naphisha Collier, as we all know. And but they do get Dejanay Carrington in her second game with the team. And then the New York Liberty will continue to be without Kennedy Burke, Nair Sabli, and Breanna Stewart. So the thing you got to ask yourself in this spot is it a revenge spot for the Liberty? And do Minnesota remember, losing this matchup last year when they played in the playoffs in Game 5, not this playoffs, the actual WNBA Finals? And I think Minnesota will be fired up for the game, but I do think it's a Liberty spot. It's crazy to think this line actually opened at 1.5, and I didn't get the best of the number. I do think, of course, I would love to have a Liberty -1.5 in my pocket. I think that they are the right side. A couple things I want to note here. First of all, there's a rematch that happens on the 16th. So I think the 16th is like Friday or Saturday, Friday, I think. These 2 teams will play again. The game will be played in Minnesota. Minnesota has looked really, really good. They won 4 straight, 9 of their last 10. Including the 100-93 win back on July the 30th. So these 2 teams just played not too long ago. Naphisha Collier was present for that game. Breanna Stewart was present for that game as well. New York, I actually think that Breanna Stewart didn't play. So New York, they have also won 3 straight games. After losing 4 straight, they had the little players only meeting, and they responded well. Granted, those 3 wins did come against Connecticut and Dallas twice. But when I look at Minnesota's schedule, they haven't played anyone too tough either, in my opinion. They beat the New York Liberty play against the Sparks on Tuesday in LA. New York has 3 games before seeing Minnesota again next Saturday in Minnesota. I'm sorry, I think I said that wrong. So that's Minnesota does. New York has no games. So Minnesota can go like the Liberty. I'm sorry, I'm getting my words mixed up. The Liberty can actually go pretty crazy in this game, in my opinion, from an energy and effort standpoint. And they got revenge. I think it's a Liberty spot, man. I know that the Lynx are really, really good. They've only been a road dog one time this season. They did win that game. It was against the Storm. But I don't really want to fade the New York Liberty with revenge, especially at home. Situationally, it's a much better spot for them. New York has traveled less in their last 5 games. and they have more rest than this Minnesota Lynx team. And that was a very strong trend that I found. The Liberty at the crib typically play really, really well. We know if they don't cover, it's typically on the road. At home, they're 13-3 straight up, 9-6-1 against the number. And they've won 6 of their last 7 games at home. In the 6 games that the Liberty have been a single-digit home favorite, because typically they land double digits, they're 5-1 straight up and 4-2 against the number. So I think it's a Liberty spot. The line has moved, like I said, from 1.5 up to 4, and the total only continues to go up as well. I do think, Minnesota offensively, I think they'll struggle a little bit in this spot because they've been playing against some weaker defensive teams, in my opinion. They also struggled to score the basketball against the Washington Mystics in their last game. That game went under as well. So, I like I'm not going to really mess around with the total too much, but I do like the under just because the last game went over by so many points. I think it was 193 points. I do expect Minnesota offense to struggle a little bit without Nafisha Collier. The Liberty have a bunch of bodies that they can throw out there and try to contain, Courtney Williams and Caleb McBride, in my opinion. So under, and then I like the Liberty in this spot. I think it is a Liberty spot. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. And then from a player prop perspective, like I don't know. I didn't really think about this game too much from a player prop perspective, if I'm being honest. Like I didn't know what to do with this game from a player prop perspective. It's a bunch of different player props, but I kind of wanted the Liberty, so that's the way I like the game. Let's see. What are you guys thinking? Thomas says I just shared the show with my Facebook page. Appreciate that, Thomas. That's dope, man. Appreciate that for sure. Let's see. Vinegar says good morning. Bounce back for plum points. We'll talk about that when we get there. It is a big slate. Says they can always be tricky. That's a fact. Dell says good morning, people. Indy was the last leg of a plus 700 last night. Love that. Helm says an awesome slate today. I'm getting tired of the terrible officiating. Yeah, you got to watch another league because it's gonna be pretty poor. Chicago Cheetah. I feel like it's always pretty bad. What's up, Mark? Appreciate you for tapping in. Marquis says says Rise and Grind taking Michaela McBride 15 points and over 2.5 threes at plus 142 on DraftKings. If the Liberty have any kind of a fault, it is their 3-point defense. So you're gonna need them to lock in. I think that they will be. Chicago Cheetah says Liberty by 5. Helm says he'll take the Lynx on the money line. Let's see. New York plays Minnesota every 3 days for the next 9. Crazy scheduling. It is kind of crazy, man. Lynx get the first one. Liberty win the next 2, in my opinion, Helm says. Liberty already won. I mean, the Lynx already won one, Helms. I think they go flip-flop a little bit. Dom says he likes the under. He says Lynx don't play for a week. So Minnesota can go all out on both ends. I like the Lynx plus the 4 and the Lynx on the money line. So we have some disagreement here. Let me see. I think I said that wrong. Let me just double check because I swear what I wrote in my notes kind of is confusing to me. So the Lynx don't play again until the 16th, and the Liberty play on Tuesday. So I think I said it wrong. I think I said it right the first time, then I said it wrong the second time. So Lynx play again. They got the whole week off, and they play the Liberty again. And then New York, I think will go all out in this game. They're probably, I don't know how they'll look in LA. LA probably gonna lose today. LA may bounce back and beat them in LA. Definitely taking the over in that game on Tuesday. But yeah, so that's how I kind of see it forecast. Let's see. Appreciate you, Sam. Faye King says, what up, Chris in chat? He says, been on my tennis grind back for this 5-game slate. Let's get to the bag. Absolutely. Liberty don't play no defense though. I when I was looking at the schedule for both of these teams, they both have been playing against, in my opinion, some pretty subpar teams. I do feel like I talked about the Liberty's schedule. The Liberty just played 4 games against the Sun twice and the Wings twice. And then they played the Wings before they played the Lynx too. So I mean, you're talking about kind of really hard to gauge them. I don't know, man. I just don't want the Lynx. I feel like the Lynx, I think that's the big letdown spot. They beat the Mystics, didn't cover. First game without Fee against the Storm, they beat them as well. I think that the Lynx get the job. I think the Liberty get the job done here. I did not bet it yet though. Let's see. Liberty don't rebound, doesn't get himself second chance. I'm taking Lynx first half. Lynx typically struggle in the first half, so that's an interesting look as well. True says, peace, Chris, taking Jacko Jones double for me. I like it. I think Jaquel has had really good games against the Liberty, against the Lynx. I feel like she is like the player that's the X factor in my opinion. And it's also be the first time that the Lynx are gonna see Emma Miesemann as well. Emma, I think if you've had a chance to watch her play, like her minutes have increased every single time. She's playing really good, right? First game she played against Connecticut, she only played 17 minutes. She had 11 points in her debut. Then she got 7 more minutes. She went to 24 points. 24 minutes and 13 points. And then she played 31 minutes. Now, granted, all these are worse defenses, but she played 31 minutes in the last game against Dallas, and she finished with 14 points. So her minutes have gone up, her points have gone up. And I want to say the same thing with her assists, 3, 2, and then 7 against the Dallas Wings. Rebounds, 2, 3, and 8. So yeah, Emma Miesemann, I think, is potentially, a big X factor in my opinion here. You can get her points, rebounds, and assists at 22.5. I did look at this yesterday for Emma Miesemann. But Jaquel Jones, I feel like, has pretty good games against the Minnesota Lynx. If we go back to last season, let me just look at it real quick. Let's see. Yeah, she was the X factor, especially those playoff games, 17 and 21 in the last 2. She do got some duds in here, but I do think that she's gonna give Alana Smith hell, in my opinion. I think that's how it goes. Nally says, "Hey Chris, after the first quarter in the Sparks game, I had to cash out and take the team total under for them and their cash. Like it." She says she likes Lynx +5. Zigzag here, Prolific says. Let's see. Appreciate you, Beware. Mark says he'll go Liberty first half. I couldn't be talked off Libs first half, Mark. I could not be talked off Libs first half, especially with the way that the Lynx always have to adjust. They're the best third quarter team, not necessarily the best first half team. I could see the Libs first half, Mark. I hadn't thought too much about that. Liberty been playing weak teams and no Stewie leaning Lynx. Boogie says, I get it. Let's see what else y'all saying. What up, Brian? Appreciate you for tapping in. He says, boy, I jumped off Golden State first half and got bit yesterday. Glad to see it this morning. Yeah, okay. Mark says we'll likely play Lynx third quarter again. Jaquel Jones historically bad. Helm says, I think I was looking at the matchups. I don't think she's been bad at all. I feel like she's the one player that can actually go get a bucket because I feel like she can give Alana Smith trouble. And I feel like the numbers show that as well. Let's see. Yeah, she had 21 and 17. She won the Finals MVP. You can't be so bad, Helms. Like they played 5 games against each other. She won the Finals MVP. She hooped in those games. Let's see. 5 for 10 from the field, 7 for 7 from the free throw line, 7 for 10 from the field, 4 for 5 from the 3-point line. These are the last 2 Finals games, Game 4 and Game 5 last year. I feel like she had some pretty good games in those matchups. She also had a 24-point game. Yeah, Helms, you tripping. We on the opposite side here. Playoffs, she was good. Yeah, I think this is going to be like a playoff type game. Ball says he'll go Liberty -3.5. Bet him GM without Stewie and Fee. I still feel like got the better team. Yeah, if everybody was playing, I would definitely be on the Liberty in this spot. I didn't bet it, but yeah, that's the only way that I want to play it. Brian says he'll go Liberty as well. Gina asking about Alana Smith under her points, rebounds, and assists. I didn't really look too deeply into it. I don't want to tell you anything. I know I said I would fade her in the last game, and the Washington Mystics looked like they had never played against the center before. Alana Smith had 25 points. So I don't really know what to do with her in this spot. I also consider the thing about like going back to the Jaquel Jones look. The thing about her rebounds, in my opinion, 8.5. Juice to the under is that we know that the Lynx are going to try to spread them out, right? Like everybody on the Lynx can shoot the 3-point shot, so they're going to pull Jaquel Jones off out of the paint to try to get some backdoor, some weak side action as well. Because we know how the Lynx play basketball. Everything is a pick and roll with Courtney Williams, everything, and they're just going to try to build off of that. So I don't really have too many thoughts there. Jamel says he'll go under on Jaquel Jones points plus rebounds and assists at 27.5. I think that she is the second most important player on the floor behind Sabrina Ionescu. And we'll see what you get from Natasha Cloud and Leonie Phoebus. I do expect the Liberty to be fired up at the crib today. First half -2, I think, is a pretty good look. I'm in agreement with Mark on that one. All right, let's move over to the next game. We got the Mystics and the Wings. So let me just double check this line. Looks like it is. Yeah, it was actually come back down to 3 now. The total has gone back up to 163.5. So this total's been all over the place. When I wrote it down yesterday, it was 165.5. And I was like, man, that's too many points. I think this game could go under. And I didn't pull the trigger on it, though. I did not pull the trigger on it. I'll tell you guys why. So we start with the injury report. On the Washington side of things, I want to say that they have a pretty clean injury report. Let me just double check. Didn't write it down. So, yeah, the Washington Mystics don't have anybody on the report. The Dallas Wings have Paige Beckers listed as probable, and Misha Hans-Allen also listed as probable for this game. Keep in mind, Paige Beckers did not play in the last game. So I'll give you guys what I saw, right? So when I was looking at these two teams, both of them have actually played against, I want to say both of them have played against like a pretty difficult strength of schedule over their last 5 games. But I know that the Mystics had an easy game against the Sky and they got smoked, right? So outside of that, the Mystics lost to the Valkyries, they lost to the Dream, they lost to the Sky, which I'm not sure how you do that. And then they lost to the Lynx, but they did cover in that game. And then when you look at the Dallas Wings, I feel like every single game that they've been playing recently have been against the Liberty, because they played the Liberty 3 times in their last 6 games. Lost, of course, both games to the Liberty, lost to the Fever, who are playing well right now. Nice bounce back spot for them. And then they lost to the Dream, but they did cover that game before that. They beat the Liberty. So the way I kind of see the Dallas Wings is it's kind of difficult to gauge the Wings, because in my opinion, like, their offense is actually starting to get so much worse. On the full season, they're now 9th in offensive rating. Last 5 games, they're 8th. The defense has always been bad. On the full season, 10th. Last 5 games, 12th. But like I said, they have played against some pretty good offenses. What it really comes down to for me is I can't lay points with the Wings. I know Washington has been terrible. I don't want them either. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games. They've lost 4 in a row. Only covered 1 of their last 4 games, and it's their 4th straight road game. So I can understand why people would take Dallas, but I don't want to lay points with Dallas either. Dallas has also lost 8 of their last 10 games. They've lost 4 straight, but they have been more competitive. They've actually covered 4 of their last 5 games. Granted, they were getting points in every single one of those games. This is the 3rd matchup of the season. Washington won the first one as a 6-point home favorite. They didn't cover in DC. And then Dallas got their revenge. They won the next game by 8 as a 7.5-point dog. So Dallas did play this team pretty well. I think Dejanay Carrington was out in both of those games with the rib injury. But I guess if I had to play, I would probably – so here's the reason why I didn't play the under, because the Washington Mystics granted, their offense, both of these offenses have struggled, right? Washington is 10th offensively on the full season, 11th on the full season. So 3rd worst offense in the WNBA, but last 5 games, they're actually 10th. And the Dallas Wings, 9th on the full season, last 5 games, they're 8th. Defensively, this is why I couldn't play it, because defensively, Washington is 9th and the Dallas Wings are 12th. So sometimes we see these games, I think, honestly, this could be a prime spot for the game to go over. Neither one of these teams really guard the 3-point line well. Both teams, I think, could turn the other team over, get out in transition. Dallas not going to turn anybody over, but Washington, I think, still can turn over. They can turn over Dallas, and Washington also struggles to protect the basketball. No Brittany Sykes, so maybe it is more of an over game. I didn't get there on the total, but I was thinking under. Dallas has played in 3 straight unders. Washington's played 3 of their last 4 games under the total as well. I couldn't really get there. I think I'd be taking the points with the Mystics if I had to, but this is a very untrustworthy team. The Washington Mystics have really started to kind of implode since the All-Star break. They have looked pretty bad, the Mystics have. Since the All-Star break, they are, real quick, 2-6 straight up, 3-5 against the number. They're losing by about 4 points per game. Their cover came against the Lynx, but they were getting double digits, and they beat the Sky. And they beat the Storm. I guess that's an impressive win against the Storm, but outside of that, they've looked pretty bad. So, yeah, I couldn't get there with anything in this game. I know a lot of people have been playing Paige Beckers. She is super well rested in this game as well, so I couldn't talk anybody off wanting to play Paige. I think her points prop still was sitting at 17.5 when I looked at it, but I didn't play anything in this game either. Let me just double check my phone real quick, because I did screenshot some stuff last night. Yeah, none of it was in this game, no. None of it was in this game. All right, let's go through the comments real quick and see what you guys are thinking here. Not a game that I enjoy betting at all, though. Let's see. Mystics money line for Helms. Could see it. Let's see. Due says he's taking a chance with Sabrina over her point. She's due. Okay. Let's see. I agree with that, Brian. This is like that first half a lot. Yeah, going back to the last game, I agree with that. Live betting this game, lean on the over for Nayeli. What up, PZ? Appreciate you for tapping in. Helm says, get the fake sharp line out of here. Level out Washington by double digits. I don't know, man. Last time Washington was in Dallas, Helms, they were a favorite and they got smoked in that game. I remember that game. It was a standalone game. I think it was like a Saturday, and they were laying way too many points. They had just beat Dallas right before. Yeah, so they played on the 22nd and the 28th. And Dallas was 7.5-point home dogs and won that game. The Mystics scored 71 points against the Dallas Wings. 71 points. That's kind of hard to do against the Dallas Wings defense. 71 points. I think I was on Washington team total over in this game. And this was a game that they had Brittany Sykes. So, had Brittany Sykes, had Aaliyah Edwards. Now, no Brittany Sykes, no Aaliyah Edwards. I guess that JC Sheldon will be available in this game, but I didn't see anything about that. I'm guessing she plays since she's been traded for a couple days now. So, I don't know, Helms. I don't know, man. Dom says Paige might be a bit compromised today. Back injuries are no joke. I thought about that too, Doms. I didn't bet the game anyway. I don't care. But I thought about that. My thought process was, I know Koklanis, or however you pronounce his name, the Dallas Wings coach. I know he's not the smartest guy in the world, but I also don't think that the organization would put her out there if she was going to be compromised. For what? What the Wings got to play for? Absolutely nothing. A draft pick. So I think that if she's going to be out there, she is probably going to be closer to 100%. Mark says, think they held her for today specifically. Okay, we shall see. Marquis says, going back to Sonia Citron, over her 22.5 points in the rebounds. She's been bullying them the last two games against them so far. They have no matchup for her. I thought the same thing against the Sky, Marquise, and she shot 0 for 5 from the first half. So I'm all for Sonia Citron, but she got the ultra green light. I just took her on the wrong day, I guess. Washington +3 for FY. Give me the better coach. Oh, if you're taking a better coach, you definitely on Washington. That makes sense. If Paige plays, I like her over 16.5 points. She had 20 the last game. A nice little motivation spot, Ron says. Playing against Citron. Nice little rookie matchup. Who is guarding Shakira Austin? Nobody is guarding Shakira Austin. I guess they could put Misha Hines Island on her. Your roof is barbecue chicken. Extra barbecue sauce, too. She can't guard anybody. Sonia Citron lights them up. Take her points for plus money, Van Negro says. No Sykes. It's the Citron show now. Yeah, their first game in Chicago was the Citron show as well. And Citron was sitting on the bench doing nothing. Boogie says Washington so suspect, and I kind of agree with that. Mark says, I'm reading that the Mystics management selling for next season, but players are still hooping hard. No bet for me. And I agree. Let's move over to a game that actually has more interest in betting. And that is the Dream and the Mercury here. So double check the line. I know it's moved a little bit. Is it up to 4? Yes, it's 4.5 now. Total has moved as well. It's up to 165.5, open 164.5. I wrote in my notes, wait for the injury report in this one, because Maya Caldwell was on the injury report. Well, she missed the last game for the Mercury when they beat the when she missed the last game for the Dream when they beat the Chicago Sky. She's off the injury report for this game. Brittany Griner, who hasn't played, I think in the last 3 or 4 games, she is listed as questionable as well. And then Ryan Howard, who hasn't played in quite a while, is also listed as questionable. So I thought that the line would get shorter because people would, bet the Atlanta Dream, and because Brittany Griner and Ryan Howard were coming back, and I was going to take the Mercury. I think it sets up well for them here. And there's no slight on Atlanta. Atlanta has been really, really good. Did 9-7 against the spread on the road. They won 4 in a row. They've covered their last 3. Atlanta actually they're the most profitable team as a dog in general on the road this season. They're 5-4 straight up. So not only do they cover the games, they win the games. They're 6-3 against the number when they've been a road dog. We saw them play in Phoenix, not too long ago. They went in here, smoked the Phoenix Mercury, getting a similar number as they get in this game. But I do think the Mercury having double revenge. I think we saw something for the Mercury. It feels like they kind of clicked in that last game against the Indiana Fever. And I kind of want to ride the momentum of the Mercury, especially at home. For whatever reason, the Mercury play a lot better at the crib than they do on the road. This season at home, they're 10-5 against the number. 3 straight wins, 3 straight covers, so they're in pretty good form. Phoenix doesn't play again until next Friday, whereas Atlanta plays in Seattle on Wednesday. So Phoenix can kind of go all out in this double revenge spot. I kind of like the Mercury in this spot, man. I was waiting for the line to come back down. It has not. Atlanta has won, like I mentioned, both games so far this season. They covered both spreads. Both were as a dog. Both were within the last 3 weeks as well. So I talked about this as one of the reasons why I played the Mercury and Indiana Fever under, because the Mercury play really good defense at the crib, man. This season, they are the 4th best defense. They're plus 11 in net rating, and they are 4th in offensive rating as well. I'm sorry, my fault. They are 6th in offensive rating and 4th in defensive rating. I like the plus 11 in net rating here spot for Phoenix, and they kind of got everybody back into a flow. Looks like Satu actually want to play basketball again. I know, like I said, Atlanta's been really difficult to fade, but I like that the Phoenix Mercury are 3-1 against the spread in revenge games this season. They lost their first revenge game against Seattle way back on June the 7th, but they're 3-0 straight up and against the spread, and they've won each game by 8 points or more in double revenge spots. I'm sorry, just in revenge games this season. Atlanta, on the other hand, is 2-4 straight up and against the spread in games where they're facing a opponent that they previously beat in the most recent matchup. So could be a little bit of a letdown spot for Atlanta here in this game. I think Phoenix kind of keeps it going in this one. I like Phoenix in this spot. I didn't bet them, but I do like them. We'll see where the line goes. Not that Atlanta is hard to fade, but if they get Brittany Griner back and they get Ryan Howard back, trying to integrate both of those players back into the lineup, I do think that it's a little bit more of a Phoenix spot. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. And then I would agree with jaXon as far as like player props go. I think I had a couple that were that kind of jumped off the page to me here. Let's see. Oh, I know it's the opposite on the opposite side, but if I'm betting on a player prop in this game, I'm taking Alicia Gray. They have not had an answer for Alicia Gray at all. I want to actually show you guys this real quick. If we go look at Alicia Gray, I am going to go over to Outlier really quickly. Let's see. All right, so Outlier here, link in the description if you guys want to check it out. It's a free trial link too, 7-day free trial. So if we just look at Alicia Gray, let's see. All right, so her points prop is listed. I think I had points, rebounds, and assists. But I mean, we can look at all of it. I don't know why, for whatever reason, she goes crazy against this team. Did they pass up on her in the draft or something? That's always my first inclination. But here's Alicia Gray, last 10 games. You can see she's in really, really good form right now. Points, rebounds, and assists line is set at 25.5. 25.5 is what it's sitting at right now. You can see she's over in 8 of her last 10. Really good form. She's hitting 4 straight as well. We look at the head-to-head matchup. The 2 games that they played this season, 41 and 30. And this was the game in Phoenix. And also, it's just a volume thing. Like, Alicia Gray is shooting the ball so much. I don't like it as much if Ryan Howard comes back, of course, because she's going to steal some of the shot attempts. And I'm not sure if Brittany Griner will take some of those shots as well. But her usage is like through the roof right now. She's playing at an MVP type level. Field goal percentage is not bad at all either. And like I said, she's just shooting the ball a lot. Just in general, she's shooting the ball a lot. So I expect this to be a fast, tempo style game. The Mercury are top 3 in pace, of course, as well. And if she's going to shoot the ball as many times as she has been shooting it, I think she absolutely going to, be able to go up and over this number. So, yeah, I like Alicia Gray over. I like the look from jaXon as well. Hard to fade Alyssa Thomas right now. I do think she ought to continue to cook. So, yeah, I like I would be betting on either one of those players. If I'm betting this game from a player prop perspective. All right, let's go through the comments real quick before we get to the next one. Home says best game of the day. Solo Biga says dream money line. Got it at plus 155. Dom says like the under in this one too. Yeah, so who's going to dictate pace, right? Like Atlanta is one of the slower paced teams in the WNBA. The Mercury are really good defensively at home. It would lead itself to an under, but I kind of agree with you. And I think Mercury first half makes a lot of sense as well. Atlanta's been so slow out the shoot, man. Like, real quick, I want to show you guys something else real quick. I'm glad Dom's even brought this up. The last 2 games, and maybe it changes because they're a dog in this spot, but if you're just, watching Atlanta play recently, they have not come out the shoot fast at all. Like, I don't know what they be doing. Like, it's like they don't even come to the game until the third quarter. Kind of remind you a little bit of the Lynx. But yeah, look at this real quick. So Dream, Mercury, these are full game seasons. Of course, this is Moneyball, link in the description as well. Look at the Dream in the first half. First of all, this is the reason why they can't cover in the first half, because they typically don't score. 22-6-1 to the first half under. If they're a road dog, 7-1-1 to the first half under. So whatever that first half is, maybe that goes under. I know that the Mercury are also a strong first half under team. You can see the number right here, 7-4 to the under in the first half as well. Let's see. So ATS wise, Dream are this can't be right. As a dog, they typically play well, but as a favorite, I know that they've been getting smoked in the first half. This number say 14-1 though, but not in the last few games. All right, so we can do this. Let's just go last 7 games. I feel like the Dream been getting smoked in the first half. This can't be. I feel like this can't be right. The Dream can't be 5-2 in the first half against the spread. That just don't seem right at all. Yeah, I got to do some digging. The last couple Dream games, I know that they stunk it up against Chicago. I know that they stunk it up against the Mystics when they were at home. I don't even think they were winning the first half in either one of those games. So let alone, laying points. So I kind of think Mercury early in this spot, even though, the Dream have been good as a road dog. That's my thought process. I don't even think necessarily get in and get out. I think the Mercury, win both. Let's see. Dude says love Alyssa Thomas. In this, we on her rebounds and points. Mercury are going to get humming here. Helms like Phoenix, so we finally agree with this one. Jamel says AT is like LeBron at the WNBA. Got to find a way to back her every time. I think she has been hooping. Mark says he got little alt line. Phoenix plus 1.5 and took the under 176. Okay. Double digits for the Mercury. Book it, Dom says. So we agree here. Mystics on the road to fade, Big Zen says. Let's see. Wings laying points is an absolute fade. I agree with that. I'm not taking the Mystics though, but I understand. Great win for 28 and 26 in July, Jason says, against Phoenix. Points line sitting at 16.5 and 17.5, depending on the books. I agree with that. Great unders popping on my model, but I ain't doing that. Yeah. But I will say, if you like Alicia Gray, like, in all seriousness, like, definitely check to see if Ryan Howard's gonna come back. If Ryan Howard comes back, that's gonna be a lot less shots. Remember, Ryan Howard's somebody who shoots 12 threes a game. Like, she don't mind getting them up. So first game probably be limited if she does play, but we shall see. I actually don't think that she's gonna play either. We'll see though. Let's see. Brian says, I don't know. Atlanta plus 4.5. Could they just match up against Phoenix and take the season series today? They could. Yeah, absolutely. The other thing I failed to mention is both of these teams are tied for third. They're both 19 and 11 against the 19-11 straight up. So this is big, right? We know that the first 4 teams in the WNBA get home court advantage, but something about the X factor, for people who don't know, that is the Phoenix Mercury home crowd. I think, like, I ain't gonna say that they overlooked them, and maybe it is just a bad matchup thing, right? Because Atlanta is one of the better rebounding teams in the WNBA. We know that the Mercury can struggle, but I do think the Mercury just haven't been playing with a lot of effort. Like, Satu gonna have to show up. Kalia Copper gonna have to show up. It can't just be AT out there doing it all by herself today. So we shall see, man. But I like the Mercury in this spot. I hate that the line has moved from 3.5 to 4.5, but I do think that they're the right side. Let's see. Gray in Canada always look to get out and run. If they don't get anything in transition, almost a guarantee that they sell all 24 of those shot clock. That's a fact. It's either super fast or it's super slow. I do agree with that, Helms. They'll run 5 pick and rolls and get into their offense with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Ball out says he'll go Atlanta plus 4.5, hoping that Ryan Howard and Brittany Griner get rolled in and get close to a pick 'em. I think it'd be the opposite though, because the last time that they played in Atlanta, the Dream won that game without Brittany. I don't think Brittany Griner played in that game. I almost took the Mercury in that game. I'm glad I didn't, but the Dream didn't have Ryan Howard or Brittany Griner. I think if they come back, they throw off the rhythm a little bit. Yeah, and I'm right there with you, Helms. I would be doing that as well. All right, next game up, Storm and the Sparks. We got one more to get to after this. So this line opened 3.5 yesterday. It was already out, and the total was at 170.5. We have seen a little bit of money come in on the Spark, the Seattle Storm, to push them to 4.5. I do see a 5 on DraftKings as well, and the total has only gone up, which we could kind of be not surprised by at all. 170.5 up to 172.5. I see it as high as. So about 2 points coming in on the over. We look at the injury report for Seattle. They will, Lexi Brown is listed as questionable. I think, no, this is not her first time. This will be her second time back in LA, because she did play for the Sparks last year. She was hurt, mostly on the sideline, but she's listed as questionable. Not sure how much that even matters, because now that they have, Brittany Sykes coming in off the bench to kind of take some of that guard depth away. And then on the Sparks side of things, of course, they can submit their injury report late. I'm not sure. I didn't see anybody get hurt last night except their feelings. The Sparks got absolutely mollywopped last night. Never really showed up. They don't ever really want to stop anybody. I look at teams that don't play defense. I'm just going off on a tangent, just very, very quickly, about 15 seconds. I look at teams that don't play defense, and I always ask myself, like, do you not care, like, to try to stop anybody? Do you not care to, like, not give up a whole bunch of three-pointers? Because the Sparks defense will make any offense look great. All right, I digress, man. Sparks defense will make any offense look great, and the Valkyries still didn't even get to that 80.5 team total that we talked about yesterday. Anyway, as far as this game goes, I thought that the Sparks were going to win yesterday, and then I was going to take Seattle today. I still feel like Seattle, they got to get right sooner or later, and I do think it's going to be on the road. For whatever reason, they typically have struggled at home. 9-6 against the spread on the road after losing to the Aces in their last game. They are just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. They're also 3-7 straight up in their last 10 games. They've lost 4 games in a row now, and they failed to cover 4 in a row as well. So Seattle's kind of free falling. The Sparks are playing on the second leg of a back-to-back coming from Golden State, so it's pretty short travel for them. They have been playing a lot better basketball. Before last night, they were 8-2 straight up and 7-3 against the number in their last 10 games. So you can say 8-3 straight up now and 7-4 in their last 10 games. This is the third matchup of the season. Both road teams have actually won in the season series so far. Seattle came into LA to start the season and smoked them, blew the boots off the Sparks. I think they beat them by like 15. That's when Seattle was actually playing pretty good. And then the Sparks went into Seattle last week, I think it was last week, and beat them in double overtime. So I got a very strong system that backs the Sparks in this spot. About 58%. I guess not super strong, but about 58%, which is higher than I'm hitting right now in the WNBA. And that is opponents, so teams who have more rest before and after the game, going back since 2017, they do cover about 58% of the time. Seattle, this sets up well for Seattle. You've lost 4 straight games in a row. You got revenge in this spot as well. And not only are the Sparks playing their the second game of a back-to-back, but they're also playing their third game in 4 nights. The Sparks are 6-0 to the over in games this season when they're playing at a rest disadvantage. So we always talk about the Sparks not playing defense. We know that they're the second worst defensive team in the WNBA. When they're at a rest disadvantage, every single game have gone over. Those games are averaging 184 points, proving that they don't really get defensive stops anyway, but when they're less rested, they absolutely don't care. Each of their opponent has gone over their team total, except for the Sky going all the way back to May the 25th. I think it was like the second game of the WNBA season. So that sets up well for Seattle being able to get up and over their team total. I think the number's like 88.5. I think that's the way that I would play this game if you want to stay away from the spread. And I think when Seattle initially started struggling, a lot of the talk, at least the way I was seeing Seattle, was their offense just isn't clicking right now. They're struggling to score the basketball. Not recently, though. We've seen like a different version of this Seattle Storm team. Recently, their offense is not even necessarily been their offense, the reason why they can't win. They've actually gone up and over their team total in 4 of their last 5 games. They got to 86 points the last game against the Aces. They just gave up 90. So I think the offense is in good form right now. I think that they will be able to score the basketball. Again, they've gone up and over their team total in 4 of their last 5 games. You need them to get to about 90. I know that their offense has really struggled. I think they get to 90 against the Sparks. Everybody's getting to about 90 against the Sparks. Do think the game's going to be played pretty fast as well. The Sparks are top 3 in pace. Probably don't have anything left defensively in the tank. Seattle is 6-2 straight up, 5-3 against the number. If they have the rest advantage, of course they do in this game. They're 2-1 straight up and against the spread. If they have the rest advantage and are on the road as well. So Seattle minus the 4.5 in total up and over. I do think Sparks are also going to be able to score the basketball in this spot as well. But favorite spot would be Seattle to get to 88. I think the Sparks will the Sparks will push the Seattle Storm to have to be able to score the basketball. And Seattle offense will be able to come through in this spot. Player prop wise, I think we got to go back to Gabby, right? I think I wrote Gabby name down last night. Let me just check my phone real quick. Gabby over 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. It's a nice little bounce back spot for her. She has been struggling recently. Real quick, let's just pull it up so you guys can see it. And then we'll jump into the last. I'll go through comments. We'll jump into the last game. So I know she's been struggling. I know she's been struggling on the road as well, but I think it's a nice little bounce back spot for Gabby Williams. So Gabby, when we betting on Gabby, we always talk about, taking everything, right? Because she can do so much. So 22.5 is here. This is 21.5. Well, was 21.5. Looks like it's been bet up, but might still be a 21.5 out there. Definitely shop around. 21.5 minus 125, depending on how much juice you want to drink. So she's under in back-to-back games. You can see that. She's also head-to-head wise, look really, really good against this team. The 2 matchups that they play so far, 22 and 27. The Sparks, I don't got to talk too much about the Sparks defense. Ain't no D in Sparks anyway, but even if it was, we would have to not pronounce it. So I think Gabby's in a really good spot. Her minutes have been consistent. I like Gabby up and over her points, rebounds, and assists in this spot today against a very, very soft, very, very fast LA Sparks defense. That's my thought process. I also, let's see, I think I wrote down another one from this game. Kelsey Plum under her 2.5 threes. She struggled in the game yesterday, and it was more like a Sparks defense type of thing. They don't give up a ton of threes. So I think, could it be a bounce back spot for her to score the basketball? Potentially. But her 3-point prop, as you can see, has been money, right? 7 of her last 10 games, she's up and over the number. You can question some of these defenses, like Connecticut, like Washington, like Connecticut, right? Like the Liberty, 3-point defense specifically. But when you look at the Storm defense, you can see right here. So this red symbol right here, if you guys following me, I'm up here in the top right corner. It says unfavorable matchup. You can see that the Sparks defense, which they've been struggling recently a little bit too, but they are second best in 3-pointers allowed. So they don't give up a ton of threes. I think Kelsey Plum stays under her 3-point prop today as well. That was something that I looked at yesterday. And let's see. Oh, Skylar Diggins. Difficult not to look at Skylar over her assist prop. It is juice. So maybe you could even ladder Skylar in this spot. Only thing that scares me even remotely in this is that you could get Brittany Sykes, depending on how many minutes Noelle Quinn plays Brittany Sykes. Like that could be a little stressful with her being on the floor trying to play make as well. But Skylar over her 5.5 assists. You can see plus 102 here on No Vig. There's a link. Oh, this is actually Profit X. Okay, my fault. I thought it was No Vig. But yeah, Skylar over her 5.5 assists. Over in back-to-back games. These are much better defensive teams. The Minnesota Lynx and the Las Vegas Aces, when they're playing at home, seem to be playing a little defense. Aces actually putting it together right now. But yeah, 4 of her last 5 games, she's up and over this number. One of them did come against the Sparks. If you look at the head-to-head matchup this season, she played against them twice, 7 and 6 assists in these games here. And it's not like the Sparks are out here stopping anybody. They give up the second most assists as well. So Skylar Diggins over her assists. Against the guard position, you can see that they give up the 3rd most assists as well. So I do like Skylar up and over her assists. And yeah, be team total over for me in this game. All right, that's enough on this one. Let's go through the comments, see what you guys are thinking. I also think NECA could get busy in this game. It's so much to like in this game, but NECA could absolutely get busy in this game. She is going back home to to LA. I feel like she's done really, really well. And I don't trust the Sparks front line. Like Azurá Stevens is my girl. She can knock down some threes. She can, stretch the floor. She can play make a little bit. She can get busy on the boards, but like Dearica Hamby ain't stopping nobody. Azurá Stevens ain't stopping nobody. So even Cameron Brink, I think, will have her hands full trying to guard NECA. So NECA points prop, I think, makes a ton of sense as well. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. We'll move over to the next. Let's see. Yeah, absolutely, Helms. Absolutely, Helms. No. Mark says, what was that with LA? Helms says he'll go Sparks on the money line. Pharaoh, I got to give Pharaoh some credit, man. He says, how do you like the Valkyries smashing those Sparks? You was the only person yesterday who liked it, and you were right. Got to give credit where credit is due. Kelsey Plum a dog. I can't fade the Sparks right now. They need a playoff spot. That's a fact. They do. What else y'all saying? Magic says NECA 15 probably. Rakia Jackson over 14.5 points for King. I think Rakia did go crazy in the last game that they played, right? Didn't Rakia have 25 or 20 plus in that game against the last time she saw? I just want to go check now that I'm thinking about it. Let's see. Rakia Jackson. She is listed at 14.5. You said plus 100. I see plus 106, King, if you got access to FanDuel. Let's see, head-to-head matchups. Yeah, she's balled out. So this is the second matchup. This is the third matchup. She is 22 and 22. They could not guard her for whatever reason. I know they tried to put Scala on the last time. That didn't work. And then Gabby is a really good defender, but Gabby can't really do anything with Gabby can't do anything with Rakia either. She's had 22 in both games so far this season. 7 for 16 shooting and 8 for 15 shooting. So yeah, and she getting to the free throw line, 5 and 7 free throw attempts. Makes a ton of sense. Just going back to Rakia here. Only thing is the rest advantage, but she young. It's only her second year. Helm says Skylar Diggins over her 1.5 threes has some nice plus money to it. Storm defense is terrible right now. I agree. Mark says Seattle with all these guards makes me nervous. There's only one ball. May get to LA side. Okay. Dom says Sparks think defensively anyway. But after playing the Valkyries, who are physical as hell, the Sparks definitely ain't stopping nobody today. You know what's funny, Dom? I looked into that yesterday. I forgot what it was specifically, but I looked into. So it was like this season, your previous opponent team was the Valkyries, and you don't play well after playing the Valkyries. Teams are 11 and 18 against the number after playing the Valkyries this season. They cover 37.9% of the time because the Valkyries are a very physical team. 11 and 7, 11 and 18 against the number this season after playing the Valkyries, and 17 and 12 to the over. You don't play any defense after playing against the Valkyries. Only 2 times in the last 8 games have teams held their opponent under their team total in the next game after playing against the Valkyries. And you know what? I'm gonna actually share this real quick. No, actually, I'm not because I typed it in wrong. 9 and 3 to the over. If you played the Valkyries in your last game and you're less rested than your opponent. 9 and 3 to the over. If you're coming off a game against the Valkyries and you're at a rest disadvantage. 9 and 3 to the over. One, two, three, four, 5. And if the total is greater than 165, 166, 6 straight overs. These games are averaging 182 points. 182. After the Valkyries, after you played the Valkyries with the rest disadvantage, and the total is greater than 166. 5-0 to the over. Games are averaging 182 points. That lets you know what you need to know. King says NECA over her 17.5 points. Starters only play like 20 minutes. Don't worry about what happened yesterday. Storm dropped 4 straight. They should be hungry, Magic says, and I agree with that. Don't forget to check the number for teams who have lost 4 in a row. Oh, got you, Laquan. I'm glad you mentioned that because I definitely won't going back up to do that. Let's see what else y'all saying. I would wait on Canada props, Kayvon. I would wait to see if she's a lot more assertive on the offensive end, like trying to score the basketball without Ryan Howard. So I would see if Ryan Howard's going to come back because she is listed as questionable. That's a game that I would kind of wait. I would kind of wait for. Necker over her points, need a dub. Dewey says jaXon 20 points and 4-1 if you guys like her today. Ball out says, Chris, you think this public all over the Sparks? This public, you mean like I think the public all over the Sparks? No, because the lines move in favor of the Seattle. This open 3.5 is up to 4.5. So I don't think the public gonna be on the Sparks. I think honestly, I don't know what to think as far as side goes. I think Seattle can get right though. Like I can see Seattle winning this game. I don't know if they're gonna cover because like Helm said, I said the same thing. Seattle's defense hasn't been bad. I think the best player is just the over. I still like it at 172. I think it goes over. And Seattle, I think definitely is gonna be able to score the basketball like everybody that plays against this defense. All right, last game, and then I'm gonna go back over that comment you talked about, Laquan. All right, so Sun and the Aces. This line is now down to 11.5. So money coming in on Connecticut. The total has moved from 167.5 down to 167. It looks like it's consensus. So injury report on the Connecticut Sun side of things, nobody on the injury report. On the Aces side of things, nobody on the injury report outside of Cheyenne Parker Tyus, who I'm actually tired of mentioning her name because she hasn't played all season. And it don't look like she's coming back at all, but we shall see. All right, so as far as this game goes, Connecticut about a week ago was playing some really good basketball. They beat the Liberty outright. Like the Connecticut was hooping, and then all of a sudden they go on the road and they forget how to play basketball. They've lost 3 in a row. They've lost 4 of their last 5 back-to-back non-covers. They're getting these big numbers on the road against Phoenix and LA. They don't even cover those. So back-to-back non-covers. It is the first leg of a back-to-back as well. They play a game in Golden State tomorrow. That's actually the only game on TV in the association tomorrow. So I don't want anything to do with Connecticut right now. Until they prove themselves, like I don't want anything to do with Connecticut. I also thought about this from an Aces perspective as well, right? I'm trying to get in the psychology of the Aces. And this is how I kind of think about the Aces. I think I mentioned this the other day, right? After they lost to the Minnesota Lynx, I said the Aces actually are playing some pretty good basketball. They just can't beat any of the good teams, right? So if you go through the Aces' last couple games, they played against some really good games. The only concern I have here with laying the 11.5 is that they kind of exhale a little bit in this game. And we see this from teams at times, right? They just beat the Storm in a very hard-fought game. They were 1.5-point home favorite. They won the game by 4. They beat the Valkyries in back-to-back games. Those were 2 hard-fought. Well, not the first one, but the second one was a hard-fought game in, Golden State. Is it a little bit of a letdown spot because you're playing against the Sun, knowing that you got the Liberty coming into town on Wednesday? That's the thing that scares me a little bit. But I mean, if you're just like looking at the way that these teams are going, like you got to lay the points with the Aces here. And from a situational perspective, like I said, it's the only reason I don't like it. You got the Liberty coming in on deck, and you've had 3, pretty good wins. I don't want Connecticut though. Like, so I looked at this from a head-to-head perspective, and I remember these games too. LA beat Connecticut all 3 times this season. They beat them by 25 in the first game. They beat them by 26 in the second game. They beat them by 18 in the third game. So talk about a team that's got your number. And also, if you go back to like last season, they won like 7 straight games, 8 straight games. They've covered all the spreads. Even when Connecticut was good last year, they still couldn't mess with the Aces. So they won all 3. They've covered all 3, all of them by 18 points or more. All 3 games stay under the total. Connecticut can't score the ball for whatever reason. 166, 160, and 156.5. All have stayed under the total. Now we got a higher total. So this is a very, very difficult game. One thing I looked at, and I think I still actually got this pulled up. I want to share this with you guys real quick. I'm going to go over to, if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. All right. So I'm going to share this with you guys, and then we'll get into We'll get into the comments and I'll do a quick recap. All right, so this is actually Give Me the Dog, sports data query language stuff. So I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can see it a little better. All right, so this is the Sun this season when they are in a revenge spot right here, right? In a revenge spot from this season, and they're on the road. 0-5 straight up, 0-5 against the spread. They lose by average of 25.8 points. So 26 points is what they've lost by. And you can see, right? They had a chance to get some revenge against the Mystics. They got smoked. Same thing against the Aces. Got smoked. And these are road games, right? So these are the losses. You can see how much they're losing by: 37, 26, 39, 16, and 11. So yes, the Sun have been playing a little bit better recently, but the games that they've been playing a little bit better, they've actually been playing on the road. So I don't like that. I think if anything, the Aces should be able to score the basketball. I looked at the Aces. You can see here, I looked at the Aces when they're playing against a team that they've already beaten this season, and they're at home. They are 4-1 to the over. They average 88 points, which is right where their team total is for the day. 4-1 to the over in this spot. I think that they should be able to score the basketball. Connecticut is one of the worst defensive teams in the WNBA, specifically when they're on the road. They can't give up. They can't stop anybody. So yeah, we look at the Sun. Road dogs. They are 6-8 against the number. But look at these last couple: 82 against the Mercury, yes. 92 against the Sparks. 102 against the Sparks. 102 against the Lynx. Like, you just don't know what kind of poor defense you're going to get. Most of these games, they were getting double digits as well. Yeah, they're giving up right at 89 points per game. So I don't know if it's a letdown spot for the Aces, but I know I don't want to touch Connecticut. That's my thought process. And I do kind of feel like Asia should not have to go super crazy in this game, especially the way that Jewel Loy has been playing recently. And Alyssa Smith had a big game in the last game as well. So yeah, I kind of feel like I kind of want to take Asia unders, but she just had 29 points on her birthday, on her 29th birthday. And Alyssa Smith also got busy with a double-double. It was her birthday as well. And it could be a little bit of a letdown spot for the Aces, but I'm not touching Connecticut. I said all that to say that. And it could just be Jackie Young. Go back to her rebounds and assists. They've been absolutely cash. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. Laquan says should be an easy blowout for the Aces, but for some reason this game makes me nervous. I agree with that. Helms, he'll go Sun first half on the money line. I could not do that, but good luck, Helms. Solo Bigger says take the under. Could definitely agree with that. This Sun offense is one of the worst. Matter of fact, let's put some numbers to it real quick. So the Aces at the crib this season are, let's just start with the Aces. The Aces are 5th best offense and the 10th best defense at home. If we look at the Connecticut Sun, they are the worst offensive rated team. 89.2 is actually 7 points worse, 7 net rating points worse than the second worst team, which is the Washington Mystics, who have a 96.7 offensive rating. That's insane, bro. Like, that is absolutely insane. We have not seen an offense this bad in a very long time. So Connecticut, worst offensive rated team on the road, and it's not even close by a landslide. They're also the worst defensive rated team, and that's where you just take the spread. They're minus 25.9 in net rating, offensively and defensively combined. Yeah, it'd be Aces, minus the points or anything or nothing at all for me in this spot. But I don't want to play the game. That's how I see it, though. Ball Out says Connecticut team total under 77.5, just a fade of the Sun, not the Aces defense. Jason says, how many minutes does Aaliyah Edwards get today? We shall see. I think Alyssa Smith has actually been pretty good, like as far as like being able to play some defense. I mean, they got Alyssa Smith, of course, because Cardio Stokes, wasn't doing anything out there, and moved, Cardio Stokes to the bench. Alyssa Smith has actually played pretty good in a couple of these games. King says take the full game under. Mel says Chris, Sun money line. All right, cool. Best of luck to you if you bet that. All right, let's go in and look at this comment from Laquan real quick. So he's asking about let's see, I think I had it pulled up. All right, so he's asking about, don't forget to check the number for teams who have lost 4 in a row and our road favorites. All right. So teams that have lost 4 in a row. And then their favorites. And then their road favorites, right? Road favorites, okay. They are not anything super strong, Laquan. They are 15-11 straight up, 14-12 against the spread, about 54% ATS. And this dates all the way back to 2011. This season, it's only happened twice. They're 2-0 straight up, 1-1 against the number, 1-1 against the over/under. We saw this with the Liberty. They beat the Sun but didn't cover. They failed to cover by half a point though. They failed to cover by 2.5 points. And then we did see the Wings beat the Sun in this spot. They smoked the Sun, beat them by 22 points, laying 4.5 on the road. And what if they have the rest advantage? Because I know what you're looking for. You're looking for this Sparks, this Seattle spot. So if they have the rest advantage, they're 4-1 to the over, dating back to 2016. We've seen this just 5 times. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely an over game. But yeah, hopefully that helped you out, Laquan. Hopefully that helped, bro. Offense is not good, dude. Offense is not good. Could it be a letdown for the Aces? It could. All right, getting into a quick recap. New York plus the point. I'm sorry, New York minus the points. See if you can find a 3.5 out there. It may be one kind of, lingering around. Let me just double check. Yeah, 3.5 is available if you guys got Bet Rivers, minus 114 odds. Bet and GM got a 3.5 as well. If you like that, I know a lot of people like the Lynx. You can get a 4.5 with the Lynx at Fanatics if you got access to them. Hard Rock got a 4.5. ESPN Bet got a 4.5 as well. Washington, Dallas. I initially thought under. I actually wouldn't even play this under, honestly. Maybe a Dallas team total under. Just thinking that the Mystics on the road as the dog probably, play a little bit of defense. So Dallas team total is 83.5. I think the Mystics coming to play a little defense, and Dallas has struggled to score the basketball, so that could be a really nice look. I do like Phoenix minus the 4. That number is still available. Seattle to go up and over their team total. The best number is, it was 88.5. I think it's still 88.5. You can get 87.5 if you want to juice on Hard Rock. And then I think the Aces is going to be able to score 89.5 is their team total. But honestly, I think I just probably lay the points in this game. Yeah, if I was playing, I think I'd be laying. Also, Mark mentioned Phoenix first half, New York first half. I like that look as well. New York first half minus, I think you can get 2. Let's see. Lynx always come out the gates. They come out the chute so slow, man. You can get a juice minus 1.5 is minus 120, or you can just play the 2, which is consensus for New York. And then you can get a Phoenix first half minus 1.5 juiced as well, or you can get a 2. And I do think that both of those are solid looks as well. From a player prop perspective, we talked about, I shared with you guys a ton, but the ones that I like the most was the ones that I actually screenshotted last night. They are, I like, let's see. I like Kelsey Plum. I like Kelsey Plum under her 2.5 threes. I like Kelsey Plum under. I like Alicia Gray. I'm not going to add Alicia Gray, but remember what I said about Alicia Gray. If Ryan Howard and Brittany Griner don't play. Skylar Diggins. Over 5.5 assists. And that number is still available. And yeah, I think it was a few more looks, but I can't remember exactly what the rest of those were. Rakia Jackson, who we mentioned her points, 14.5. That sounds like good money. Emma Messiman, I like a lot as well. It's a lot of looks today, man. Whatever it is that you guys are betting, I wish you the best of luck. The link is in the description if you guys want to sign up. And yeah, whatever I do play, I'll send it out to the members. as we get a little bit more information. I think one of these games, the Minnesota-New York game is a standalone 12:30 game, so that's going to be interesting. Resources are always in the description of the video as well. You guys can see them on the screen here. Check those out if you're interested. And hit the like button for me on the way out, man. Best of luck on all your action. Catch you guys tomorrow for the standalone game for Connecticut and Las Vegas. I'm out.